my name is Tzvi Lebetkin, the Rabbi from another planet. Please like, share, and subscribe, and ring that little bell. Ring the little bell so you're notified when new videos drop. And we are still reveling in our embarrassment of riches. We have so many mainstream articles to go through, lambasting this current era of Doctor Who. Like, finally, we're allowed to say the Emperor has no clothes, right? So we're looking at a pretty darn good one today. It doesn't pull any punches, right? It really doesn't pull any punches. It's quite funny too. But, you know, I want to say that Doctor Who, this era of Doctor Who, has succeeded in one way. That's really the crux of this video. And I thought of this last night. Doctor Who has really succeeded in one way, and it's in a way that will make Chris Chibnall, Jodie Whittaker, and all the blue check marks on Twitter wither with terror and horror when they realise that they've proved themselves to be incredibly wrong about everything, right? So we're going to get into that in a minute. Before we get into it, hit the like button. Freaking awesome! I like to be liked. You like to be liked. We all like to be liked, right? And that's one of the reasons why I'm enjoying all these articles. Yeah, like, I like to be agreed with. Okay, I just do. I'm a normal human being. Funny, like, I was talking about He-Man on a live stream on Saturday night, right? And you know, I was talking about Tila, who again, I'm not a huge He-Man fan. I kind of liked it. I did like the Netflix thing, but Tila, not to put too fine a point on it, doesn't have any boobs, right? Doesn't have no boobs in this thing. They're very regular. And I was like, wait a minute. Okay, listen, I'm a normative human male, and I do sexually fetishize female breasts because I think that's I think that's kind of I like boobs. Okay, that's the answer. We're saying the same thing, right? But because I'm horny, you got to give this poor cartoon character a double mastectomy. It's weird. They are just weird. Anyway, so we're going to disprove their fundamental premises in life through Doctor Who, and we're going to do it. Oh man, sorry, I just spat at the lens. One sec, can I clean that off? Did that come off? I don't know. I think it's better. Okay. Again, a little production aside, you should know. Every couple of days, I have to take this thing, right? This came with my TV that my wife got me as a Hanukkah present like 2 years ago. Which best TV I've ever had. It's freaking awesome. It's like 60-inch and it got everything. But anyway, came with this clean. Why? Because I use it to clean my screen. Because I'm a bit excitable, baby. I'm a bit excitable. I do spray it a bit. Okay, it's good we're doing this through the interweb. So I got a glass barrier and you know, reality blocking us. Because I do need to. So you just saw it in action there. So anyway, like, share, subscribe is what I'm trying to say. How long did it take me to get there? I'm 3 minutes. I'm hitting like, share, subscribe. Like, share, subscribe. That'd be freaking nice. Thank you very much. Listen, as I said, I like to be liked. I like people to agree with me. Share me around. Let everybody know the wit and wisdom of the Rabbi. That was the Rabbi. Man, that's really embarrassing. I just talked about myself in the third person. Like, share, subscribe. Comment. Let me know what you think. And I got a gazillion comments. People will want to talk a lot about this stuff. I have a gazillion comments going, but please do comment. Let me know what you think, and I will, of course, endeavor to reply to all your comments. I'm not good at replying to replies, and I apologize for that. Yeah, I genuinely apologize. There's only so much of me, right? And I got a lot going on. Like, share, subscribe, comment. We want to be super nice. Check out my Indiegogo, which hopefully is going to the printers today, right? Today. Oh shit, I've got to get a bunch of stuff for the trailer for my next project. The wonderful person doing the trailer, and the trailer looks like it's going to be freaking awesome for my next book, asked me for a bunch of stuff, and I thought I delivered it all, but they need a bunch more, and I've got to get that done. But hopefully this is getting the printers today. What is it? 2 freaking awesome comic books. We got Biblical, Bible Stories, Atheist Gracious, Rationalists and Rogues. I wrote and drew this one. It's 220 pages long, and it's freaking awesome! Freaking awesome. I think that's a fair description of it. This is 105 pages long. I wrote this, and Dominic Ratchett did the artwork. It's basically a love letter. The telly fantasy of the 1960s. Doctor Who, James Bond, Emmett Till, Monkey in the Spacesuit, and the Black Sapphire through the one. Then just a ton of extras, all by the wonderful Dominic Ratchett. This is an A2 poster. Go check it out. It's in the video links. Anyway, I'm getting into the printer today. So I don't. This is going offline as soon as it goes to print. I don't know how long the print queue is going to be. I guess I'm not even going to guess. Maybe it'll be 2 days, maybe 2 weeks. I don't know, but it's going offline at some point. All right, I will let you know on the video the day it goes offline, because as soon as it goes to print, boom, close down. And I don't think the extras are going to be available in the next campaign, although we are we are doing more of the same, right? Listen, people like attractive people in genre settings. At least I do anyway. I am one of those people. Fine. Fine. Before we look at the article we're going to look at today, let's look at my fundamental premise for this video. So, there's an idea purported by people like Chibnall, by Jodie Whittaker, by the blue check marks on Twitter. There is something called unconscious bias. That is that normative white people, so only white people have this, by the way, as far as I understand. Normative, especially white males, who unconsciously look down upon and dislike women. And people depending on the blackness of the skin. The blacker the skin, I think, the more they're supposed to dislike. Unconsciously, there's nothing you can do about it, right? There's absolutely nothing you can do about it. Whenever you see a woman, you go, no, she shouldn't be in authority. You do that, right? Nobody's ever done that, right? And it was a black person, I will be honest. If there's a gang of people who look pretty big and they're heading towards me, they look like they might want to beat up a fat Jew, right? I will cross the street. And if their skin color's white or black, I'm still crossing the bloody street. Please don't be offended, okay? I don't know, okay? I don't know, but it's nothing to do with your freaking skin color. But they believe there's a thing called unconscious bias. I think the reason that Jodie Whittaker was chosen to play Doctor Who was because she had a vagina. She is one of those girly people, who are obviously subjugated and second-class citizens, and we have this unconscious bias against women. We can't stand the idea of there being women in power. Again, this is where they think. So, what's the solution to this unconscious bias? That they subtly, it's not very subtle, in every form of media put in their messaging that women are people too! Women can do things! Oh, you should look at them. Their hands are very dexterous. They can, they're very clever. Yeah. It's the most racist, sexist thing ever. But that's basically that's why all our media is full of this garbage, obnoxious messaging that nobody in the world disagree with. I think people disagree with the messaging now. I just saw a a Muppet Babies clip in which Gonzo comes out as being a trans woman. Gonzo? Really? I mean, he's got a penis for a nose. That seems weird. But anyway, that's the messaging they're pushing it. But, it's a message that is a false message, as we can see from the ratings of Doctor Who. Now, Doctor Who, when Jodie Whittaker started, firstly, Doctor Who was a little bit on the decline. Let me show you this ratings chart, which actually doesn't have the data in, which I really needed to have in to make this point. Now, this one. So this is ratings for season 10, Peter Capaldi's final season, which was the lowest rated season up until that time, and Jodie Whittaker's season 12, which is lower rated. As you can see, it's performing worse and also heading on a downward trajectory, whereas Capaldi was where the dipped and went up again, and there's a lot of other factors they didn't put in. But what's not showing here is the season in the middle. It's season 10 and 12. If we did the season in the middle, the chart would have to be a lot taller, because it goes, whoa, right up. They get a massive boost. She had 11.5 million viewers for her first episode. So how on earth could that have possibly happened if there is this thing called unconscious bias, which we have no control over? They haven't even started reprogramming us yet against unconscious bias, and yet the British public were like, yeah, okay, female Doctor Who, let's check it out, right? And it did take about a year of real terminal boredom and bad performances before the British public were like, this is garbage. It's leave me alone. It's nice that she's a woman, but everything else is awful, right? But basically, the data, the viewer data, proves this fundamental premise of the current era of Doctor Who, that women cannot be accepted as people in positions of authority, and therefore we must be socially engineered to accept it, is entirely false. Is entirely false. So well done. You succeeded in one thing. You succeeded in one thing, Chibnall. I'm not sure it's the thing you wanted to succeed in. So let's have a look at this article. One of the plethora, as I said, the embarrassment of riches of articles we have. lambasting the current era, because again, now it's okay to say the emperor has no clothes, because the emperor has no clothes. It's the weirdest thing, you know. It's something I don't understand. People don't like truth. That's really the bottom line. There's a local official in my little town in Samaria, right, who in my estimation has done not the best job in the world, right? You know, like there were a lot of people that used to go to the synagogue that they don't now, as a direct result of the actions of this local official, right? As a direct result. But if you say that publicly, right? If you say that personally, people go crazy. And the reason I think they go crazy because it's true, right? Because you're over target. So the thing is, what happened is when you had any criticism about Jodie Whittaker, Chris Chibnall, people went crazy in the same way because you're 100% over target normally. But now that the dam's broken, right? And like it's over. I mean, things change, but like, you know, things come and go, but it's essentially over. You know what's really over though? Star Trek. Oh my gosh, that's my next video I'm filming. Like, whatever hope and elation we have in the Doctor Who world is not going on in the Star Trek world, or Star Trek is dead. I think we can say August 1st. You know, it's like, I go, well, what day's Contact Day? First Contact Day? I can't remember. It was March something. But August 1st is the day Star Trek died. That's the death of Star Trek, right? August 1st, 2021. That's when they said, oh yeah, we're going to keep doing the Star Trek that nobody likes for a lot, like Star Trek, exactly like this Doctor Who that nobody likes. So they must have reached a point in the BBC where they haven't reached in Paramount and CBS yet, where they're at implosion levels, right? People don't change until things fall apart. We've learned that from the comic book industry. I feel bad for the Star Trek fans out there today. Anyway, Jodie Whittaker's torrid term in the title proves that if Doctor Who hopes to have one, the future isn't female. Oh, now that's a knife in the heart of every blue check mark in the world, isn't it? It's like, oh no! Ah! Yeah, they're not happy to hear. And why? Again, yeah, we've proven without beyond any reasonable doubt that the need that they thought there was for a female Doctor Who doesn't exist by the ratings of the female Doctor Who. Like, if their premise was correct, it would start with low ratings and get bigger and bigger and bigger. No, that didn't happen, did it? It went exactly the opposite. Anyway, let's have a look. By Matthew Kadish. Ooh, name rings a bell. I'm sure I've heard of him. Oh, why? Okay, so this doesn't pull any punches as it starts. Woke showrunner Chris Chibnall. That's true. Okay, so that's true, but wow, you could have like, you know, sidled up a little bit on that one. You could have started slow. No, woke showrunner Chris Chibnall cast the first female Doctor Who to fix the show, but now they're abandoning the franchise after fans abandoned them. If anyone has a time machine, can they go back and stop them taking over? No, nothing could have stopped that. It was a force of nature. It was a tsunami. And the tsunami hit, right? Tsunami hit, and now we're in the world, the post-flood world. If you thought, oh my God, if you thought that Dr. Fauci was the most hated doctor in the world, you could be, you will be mistaken. The title belongs to Jodie Whittaker and a portrayal of the 13th incarnation of Doctor Who. Yes, yep, I think that's pretty fair. To Whovians around the world, and I hate the way Jodie Whittaker says Whovian. Whovian is like, God, she just learned it. Everything. I can't stand everything about it. To Whovians around the globe, when the actor announced he was stepping down from the iconic role of everybody's favourite Time Lord, it's a bittersweet moment. Every Doctor has his loyal fans who are sad to see him go. Boy, Matthew Kadish, you're not a fan. But in the case of Jodie Whittaker, who announced she'll be stepping down from the role on Thursday, the overwhelming reaction amongst the Doctor Who fan base was one of celebration. Yes, it was, right, and you know the people on the right side of history were all like, what? They've all been rather quiet, haven't they? They've shut up a little bit. Yeah, because it's over, mate. It's over. Man, oh, there used to be one who was just such a pain in the ass to everybody. But he got caught in like doing some sex scandal. I can't bloody remember. So he vanished. You know, they all get caught being hypocrites because they are. They all basically are. The 13th Doctor has faced overwhelming criticism during her run, and no, it's not because she's a woman. No, again, it's because it was garbage. It's because the actor playing her and the writers handling character cared more about preachy gender politics than timey-wimey. God, I miss David Tennant. Space Adventures, yeah. And it's not like Doctor Who hasn't had a social conscience beforehand, right? Have you seen Happiness Patrol? It's actually, I would say, kind of a brilliant anti-Thatcher allegory. It really was. It was kind of brilliant. Man, I'm watching season 24 right now. It's a bit hard going. Okay, I got my Blu-rays. It's a bit hard going. As an aside, it's worth getting for Behind the Sofa, which is when you have groups of people watching the Doctor Who episodes, and yeah, you hear the reactions. So you got one group of Sylvester, Bonnie Langford, who's freaking awesome. I can't believe how much I dislike Bonnie Langford and how much I like her now. She just seems so freaking awesome. Sylvester, Bonnie Langford, and Sophie Aldred as one group. You got Colin Baker and Michael Jason, which is a weird combination, as another group. And Colin is so bitter still. He's like, because that was supposed to be his season. He's never seen it before. And you can still, he's a little bit like, fuming, right? It got better when Sylvester got his own costume. It took off his costume. He was not happy. So it's worth watching for that. And then you got Peter Davison, Sarah Sutton, and Janet Fielding. And they are ripping the piss out of it. I mean, like, oh my God. It's worth buying the Blu-ray box set for that alone. So I'm looking forward to going through it. Anyway, I digress. Jodie Whittaker came to the role with great fanfare, lauded by journalists, most of whom had never seen an episode of Doctor Who in life, as a feminist icon for being the first female Doctor. Yes, stunning and brave. So the pressure from the SJW elite, man, I got to read more RT stuff. Was on as Whittaker took over from Capaldi. The new showrunner Chris Chibnall took over from Stephen Moffat. Fan reaction was decidedly mixed when Chibnall announced that he'll be casting his collaborator from his previous hit series Broadchurch as the gender swap Doctor Who. Listen, if you're talking about me, my reaction was that I was worried for about 10 to 15 seconds that it was political correctness gone mad, and I was like, no, it's really the natural progression where it should go. You know, I had faith in Whittaker and Chibnall that they were seasoned professionals and they would pull it together. Boy, do I have egg all over my face, right? But it seemed to be most of fandom, from my perspective, because people project their own worldview onto whatever they see. But it seemed to me most of fandom was quite open and accepted them, and it was really a very small minority that were not up for it, right? And they were all proved right? But when the episode started airing, and it was, I think it was Arachnids in the UK, which everybody went, oh, this is, and even I at that one said, look, you can have a bad episode. But the Arachnids in the UK, I think, was the one where people first knew how bad it was going to be. Then any criticism happened, you were hounded off social media faster than you could blink. You were cut. You were thrown out of those Doctor Who Facebook groups. And like, just for saying that the writing is atrocious, right? You know, like, if you don't like the show, go! Like there was they couldn't cope with it at all. There was, of course, fans who were concerned it was casting stunt for the sake of feminism and didn't make sense within the broader Doctor Who mythology, which had been built up since 63. I don't really agree with that. I think it could have made sense. It could have worked. How it should have worked is they should have said that up until recently, Time Lords didn't gender swap when they regenerated. It was a social taboo. Now we're more progressive. People are starting to do that. And you can have the Master been a bit of a trailblazer. That actually would have worked, and people do that now. Then it would have reflected our society. But no, because what they really want to do is program into us that it's always been this way, and we're the aberration for thinking that it's not that way, right? So that's why it didn't really work. After all, Doctor Who had always been a man, and again, I was open to it. Thus, the chorus of misogyny began to be sung by woke journalists and Twitterati as they circled the wagons around Whittaker. This misogyny excuse has been the go-to attack for anyone dare criticize Whittaker and Chibnall ever since. 100%. I'm just a bit astounded. There's a news outlet actually reporting events that I personally witnessed. So, normally it's the opposite of that. The vast majority of Doctor Who fans feel that the female Doctor could have been awesome and accepted by a large fan base had Whittaker and Chibnall not done everything in their power to alienate them from the fan base. Listen, I wasn't even put off when Whittaker first said, "Don't be scared of my gender." How about this, Whittaker? Don't be scared of our criticism for your awful work. Don't be scared of it. Take it on and try and do a better job. Don't be scared of we're not scared of your gender, you stupid idiot. Oh my God. The first inkling that something was wrong was in Whittaker's first Comic-Con interview after being cast. I wonder where it's going to go to. She said she was not a science fiction fan and had only seen a few David Tennant episodes because he was a friend from Broadchurch. Unfortunately, rather than crafting a unique take on the character, she essentially resorted to being a poor imitation of David Tennant's Doctor. Yeah, I mean, that's such an accurate description. A poor imitation. That's what it is, because she didn't understand it, right? And it's beyond me how Chibnall didn't say, you got to sit down and watch a story from each Doctor and get the through line for the character, much as Matt Smith had done. And what a great performance. What a great take on the character, right? All that, again, even if she'd done that, I don't think she could have pulled it off. Because I just don't think she could view the character. I don't think she can get over like the leaps of reality, right? Like, oh, it's just a silly space show. And like, I think she sees it like Teletubbies, like the same thing. It doesn't really need internal consistency. That's my impression from her performance. Poor David invented of the Tennant's Doctor. Whittaker had never worked on something so demanding as sci-fi as a sci-fi lead, and had a young child when she was cast, forcing the production to shorten the show's seasons and put year-long breaks in between. That's why. Oh, that's interesting. That is very interesting. Okay. By the way, I completely unconfirmed rumors. I'm going to be talking about them when I get a bit more. Somebody sent me things saying that from a friend of his who works in the, and this is the story, I don't know if it's true, works in the production design of the current series. They said the first script is dog shite. It's the first episode. The first is generally considered to be dog shite. Okay. And the third one is incomprehensible, but they said the second one is quite good. But the guy who said to me said, "Listen, yeah, we have disagreed a lot on what we consider quite good, but like, that doesn't sound good." And so I really didn't know it's because she had a kid. That's why we got a reduced episode count. I thought it was a budgetary thing. I really had no idea. And well, I wonder what his sources were. And while Whittaker got a lot of flack for her portrayal of the Doctor, most fans agree she's a fine actress, just not for the role. Yeah, she can play mothers and girlfriends, and that's wise. She like, was it the Sonungra conundrum? Is when she tried to explain how Walt Driver was working in this spaceship, and it was like a lead balloon. A terrible performance. Like, clearly not understanding it and not selling it that she loved the science, right? Just not selling it at all. Just not right. But that's not her fault. The error lies solely at the feet of showrunner Chris Chibnall. Oh, yes. I bet he's already, I mean, I'd say bet. I was going to say, I bet he's already got his next thing with the BBC lined up because nobody wants to lose face. But could it be Blake Seven? Who knows? Who knows? Oh my God! Or Sanity may have ensued. Who knows? Jim made decisions that seemed to work against the show being accessed. He famously declared no classic villains. Basically, everything they did was wrong. And they made the Doctor into a moron who never knew what was going on. The whole through line of a character in season 11 was that she was always ignored by like the male patriarchal characters. What's the name of that actor from the Ghost Monument who played the bad guy? Great actor. I've seen him in a bunch of stuff. Was he in the revamped Upstairs Downstairs? I can't remember. Art Malik. Oh, that took me a few minutes. He's Jewish, isn't he? I think he's Israeli. Yeah, was it Art Malik in Ghost Monument who was just like, who are you? Right? And I guess they were trying to reflect what it's like, the female experience. So where I think that comes from is sometimes women say stupid things, like sometimes men say stupid things, and sometimes men act towards women the same way they act towards men because they're not sexist. And when a man says a stupid thing, they act towards them in a dismissing way. And when a woman says something stupid, they act in a dismissing way. It's not because she's a woman, it's because she said something stupid. And I think that's a little bit connected tissue they're missing. He famously declared no classic villains would be in the first season, but didn't replace them with anything better. In fact, the big recurring bad guy is Sim Shaw, a blue man who puts teeth on his face, no joke. If he wanted to put classic fans tuning in, Chibnall needed to use classic references to make the show the most Doctor Who it could be. I think he's right there. To appease long-time viewers enough that he would look past the jarring gender change, something he specifically did not do. No, he really didn't want the older fans. I mean, I think that was really clear. He really didn't want the older fans at all, right? And that's why I think that's why he was clearing deck. But this new audience just didn't turn up. Same with Star Trek. New audience didn't turn up. They don't give a shit. Okay, they're like, let's do more of this. Jim also got rid of writers on the previous two showrunners. Writers who successfully revitalized the series with numerous different actors playing the iconic role. Well, it was very important to him that he hired non-white male writers. Funnily enough, the only one who really put in a script that was in any way close to Doctor Who was the white male writer. It was Pete McTeague, wasn't it? And that wasn't. I mean, it would have been better had it been a different Doctor. Like if any other Doctor, it would have been an okay average episode with any other Doctor. He then proceeded. Maybe I haven't rewatched it since it was on. He then proceeded to replace them by hiring writers based on the social message of the week. Yes, Doctor Who was always had social messaging in its DNA, but the difference was that it had been done by people who understood good storytelling. Yes. And it's a mystery to me how people hold up the Villa of Dildo, whatever it was, as like, oh, that's a great... No, it's an awful, boring story. Because it's done by somebody who doesn't understand the genre and doesn't have experience, which is most of the writers of the current era. But the difference was that it had been done by people who understood good stories. And the new writing room was filled with people from melodramas, well, mainly from soaps and political playwrights. Who didn't understand how to use science fiction to get the messing out without feeling preachy and false. Ergo, it felt preachy and false. Yeah, I think that's a pretty fair, it's a pretty fair assessment of the situation. A perfect example is in episode 3 of season 13 entitled Rosa. Yeah, which it was on tonight on a very special Doctor. There was an episode based around the historic figure Rosa Parks. The episode received huge critical praise from the media, but when you ignore the politics and judge the episode based on the plot, the whole thing falls apart. A mass murder, yes, okay, 100%, and I'm so glad this is being transmitted to the normies now at last. A mass murderer from the 52nd century escapes prison and realizes that if desegregation never happened, he would have white privilege and not have gone to prison. That was his motivation? Really? They didn't bring that out very well. So he travels back in time to eliminate Rosa Parks, but really? That was a stupid idea? But he had a chip put in his head to prevent him from killing. So he gives the bus driver the day off. So when the bus where Rosa Parks famously refused to give up a seat would not run that day. The plot, that's the plot of the episode, no joke. Blimey, you did well sitting down and writing that down, mate. Whew. The idea is that at no other point in life Rosa Parks would stand up for her rights, and no other black person would do so all the way through the 52nd century. Oh my God! If she, yes, I didn't like. My brain still assimilating this. The plot is that if in the 1950s Rosa Parks hadn't refused to give up her seat, that nobody would have protested the unequal treatment of black people, the legalized unequal treatment of black people in America ever. Really? Really? That's okay. And an insult not only to Rosa Parks but to the whole human race. That's how I think this Doctor Who is. It's an insult to the whole human race. Now, notice that white privilege still exists 3,100 years in a world where humanity has presumably encountered alien life forms, plus now simply boggles the mind. But probably the most egregious sin against Doctor Who fans came from the episode "The Timeless Children." This story, this is a storyline where Chibnall makes the Doctor not a Time Lord, but more of a Time Jesus. Okay, essentially, I was going to say Jesus. I did before I realized. Essentially, a god reborn into a mortal body. Yes, yeah, exactly. But Chibnall took one step further to show not only was the Doctor not originally born a woman, but was in fact many women before her mind was erased, and she was made into the first male from the 1960s, played by William Sharp, first male Doctor. From the 1960s, played by William Hartnell. Wait. So the first time he became a man, well, no, because he was a man, I think, regenerated in the many regenerations. Right, okay. The episode breaks so much established canon, both new and classic Who, it actually calls many fans to abandon the series entirely. Yeah. Once again, Chibnall looks to be taking inspiration from what didn't work before, because the 13th season will probably be reportedly a single story instead of an episodic season. I don't really hope for people to have bad times in life, but I really hope this does as badly as I think it's going to do. I mean, honestly, they've commissioned Doctor Who to be the crown in the jewel for the centenary, the 100th anniversary of the commissioning of the BBC. It's supposed to be like their main thing, and they're putting it like the right bang front and center, which is a good idea unless you realize Doctor Who is garbage nowadays, made by Chris Chibnall, right? It's a good idea. Other than that, and I said in my video yesterday, it's Doctor Who has become the face of everything that people who hate the BBC hate the BBC for, right? It's absolute, and it's going to be much more of that. I think it might be the thing that actually takes down the BBC. I mean, it really could be. Wouldn't that be wild? Christian will be taking inspiration from it didn't work because the 13th movie, but one long story episode is something that has not been done since the 6th social, which caused ratings to plummet. Yes, I know, and it's not like they're doing so good. I mean, listen, they're consolidated for Revolution of the Daleks was 6.5, I think. Which is, I mean, look, it's the lowest rated holiday special. I mean, the last lowest rated holiday special was Spyfall Part 1, which was 6.89. So, you know, it's not going well for them, right? It's not working out well. Although I have to tell you, for the BBC think they're doing okay with it, because it's, you know, EastEnders getting like 3 million. So for them, 6 million or something, they're all excited. But Chibnall is no stranger to plummeting ratings. Can I just show you this again? No stranger to plummeting ratings. Under his stewardship, Doctor Who has seen its worst ratings in 31 years. And I will reiterate this every time I say this. It's the, other than 2 episodes of Battlefield in 1989, worst ratings of all time. That's pretty bad. That's pretty bad. The numbers for Doctor Who have gone down consistently with each new episode under Chibnall's run, with the series losing nearly 1 million viewers since the debut of season 12. No, more than that. Excuse me. It's lost. 1 second. So it was Spyfall 1 was 6.89, and it ended up at 4.69. So it lost 2 million. And then, whatever. I mean, it lost 300,000 if you're going to go from special to special, I guess. That's the best you can say. The numbers have gone down consistently, losing 1 million viewers since the debut episode of no, I think 2 million viewers. The audience ratings of the show continue to sink. The last season sitting at an abysmal 60% of Rotten Tomatoes. Reasons cited for the show's continual decline include poor writing, poor acting, extended hiatuses, alienation of long-time fans, an attempt to change the show's target audience, a blatant disregard of canon, and a preachy woke approach to the beloved franchise. Yeah, bing, 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 bing. He nailing everyone, right? Everyone is correct. So short of going back in time, preventing Whittaker and Chibnall from ever getting involved with the series to begin with, the two stepping down from Doctor Who just after 3 seasons, and they were planning on 5. Chibnall was planning 5. I don't know what Whittaker was. Is the best fans could hope for. Yeah, and again, Star Trek fans today are really jealous. Star Trek fans are genuinely jealous, and for good reason. Let's pray they're not replaced by something worse. That is so true, and that's basically where we are saying. My guess is they're not going to be replaced by anybody in the near future. It's gonna. I think there's going to be a legacy special in 2023, and if there's a new series, it won't be before 2024. That's my guess, and only with international partners. So only if they can find somebody to do it, which is going to be pretty tricky right now because they have very seriously damaged the brand. So there you go. Another one in a day of celebration, many days of celebration that Whittaker and Chibnall are leaving. Point of the video, once again, I want to reiterate, their one success is they proved beyond any shadow of a doubt, with cast iron data and numbers, right? That their fundamental premise that there is an unconscious bias causing inherent bigotry within the Western world has been completely disproved. So there you go. Good news for everybody, apart from the blue check marks, which that struggle is what they live for. My name is Tzvi Lebetkin, the Rabbi from another planet. Please like, share, and subscribe, and ring the little bell. Ring the little bell so you are notified when new videos drop.